Alright, hopefully that can be seen, but hello there. Sorry this is kind of late. I've been pretty tired recently, but because of the New Year's and the holidays, but uh, I'll get through. So, I already have a couple of blasters dismantled already, but I'm just going to show this one on screen. This is a Rebel Guardian crossbow. So, I think I've already unscrewed the blaster. So, obviously take a Phillips head screw and screw all the surface screws. There's even some that are hidden like underneath like the priming bar or like sometimes underneath the shell, but sometimes there is, sometimes there isn't. Also make sure you put your screws in an area. I tend to put all the stuff I dismantle in like a tote box or a baggie, something like that. Something to make sure that you don't lose them. There we go. Yep, the entire shell splits apart into multiple pieces. That will make it easier for sanding and painting. If no one's ever seen this before, the Guardian crossbow, it's basically a strong arm. So if you prime, this is the bar that reaches the priming bar. Once that reaches all the way back, it gets caught by this, which is this little mechanism down here. You prime forward, and there's this lock right here, which primes it all the way back forward again, and it's ready to fire. So when you fire, the trigger catch releases the plunger rod, releasing the compressed spring back into its resting area. All that air distributes from the tube to the dart, releasing the dart out. That's basically how all springers work. So, just try to see if I can remove all this. Yeah, already looking at this, I can already tell, because I've never actually opened up this blaster before. It's a Vagabond, if anyone's ever used one of those. Or, yeah, Vagabond strong arm. It's more like a Vagabond because these are exactly, I mean exactly like that. So I'm just gonna put these pieces to the side. Somehow I'm gonna have to open up that cylinder. Maybe I'll have to do that off screen because that might take some time trying to fiddle with that. But dismantling's the super easy part. Just putting it back together might be more difficult than it seems. But oh, there we go. Did I break that? Barely. Alright, now that I have the shell, as you can tell it's super smooth, so I might try to go with like a pristine look than a weathered because there's no edges on the shell, so it'd be a lot harder to do the weathered effect. So I'm probably going to do pristine for this one. I have some other ones over there that, this one, the Blitzfire, this one I'm probably going to do like what I did for the other one, just to show how to weather. Either way, I'm going to be sanding all these down in front of the camera for everyone, just so I have a general basis of what to do. But, so, I got the shells in front of me. I grabbed 100 grit for this one because I think 60 grit would tear this shell apart. Probably on like a rougher shell material, like the current Nerf blasters, you know how they have like that digi-camo pattern. If I have any, no I do not. But the digi-camo, that one's going to be a pain to sand stuff off if you're going to paint one of those type of blasters. So probably go 60, 80 grit. 60 grit's pretty rough, so probably go 80 grit. Whichever you prefer. But, yeah. So I got 100 grit. So I'm just gonna sand this down. This logo up here, I can already tell, is kind of bubbled outwards, so that one I have to sand down completely. Oh, I'm also using a sanding block too. You don't have to use a sanding block. I just find it easier using one of these, and then I just go over with a smaller piece of sandpaper if I have to get in like edges or anything like that. Yeah, the 100 grit's working out pretty well. Just trying to make sure I don't have all the logos sanded off. I'm trying to get this off entirely. Doesn't matter because it's just like a paint decoration. So it's not bubbling outwards or inwards or anything like that. It's just on there. So I'm probably still going to try to sand it off, but probably not entirely because it wouldn't matter. So it's also funny because this was a time when Hasbro still made paint decorations on both sides, because they don't do that anymore. They sometimes do now, like the new Long Strike. They or like any like the Walmart series, like paint schemes. That's just reshells, but they're not being cheap anymore, and that's nice. So it means that they care about their brand, because there's a lot of companies that are just beating them out of the water right now in terms of performance, aesthetics, and affordability. Like Dart Zone and Air Warriors, the internals now is just they just hit modified elite performance now out of the box, and that's just insane. If Hasbro did that, they would have been like lawsuited out the wazoo. But we're not here to talk about that. Just me rambling on, I guess. I seem to have most of it, so I'm probably going to go back over that with 150 grit. Trying to sand off the serial number down there. I'm going to try to sand off here the most too, because this is where the priming bar is. So if I don't, that paint that's just sticking there barely will probably just peel right off after one prime. So it's better to be safe than sorry. The entire part one that I was going to do was, I was just going to show dismantling. I'm like, well, that's just kind of stupid to just show that, so I'm just going to try to make it longer by showing sanding too, just so I can narrow the series down a little bit. Because this might take a little bit over a week to do, especially if I'm doing multiple blasters. Hopefully I can get this video done within an hour, so it isn't entirely long, but what else am I missing back here? And I seem to got all the logos off on this side. It was just the one on the front, but there's got to be a warning label. Yeah, it's back here on this one. Yeah, this is actually coming off a lot easier than I thought it would. Even though I really don't have to do that, but It might be easier for anyone else other than me to do this because I have the camera. But if I do this, I'd shake the table and I'd probably knock over the phone, and I really don't want to do that. Plus, that'd be pretty bad for anyone wearing headphones because they're going to hear that thump. Just looking out for you guys out there. And also, probably for the sake of time, I'm probably also just going to do one side of the shell. Because, oh, I only have one left. It'll do, though. Oh, I got two. Probably only going to do, like, one side of the shell. Just to also save time, because I'm probably also going to do the other ones over there on screen, too. If I didn't. Pretty sure I already mentioned that, but, oh well. I'm just going back over with 150 grit to make it more smooth so it doesn't end up rough over the base coat. Yeah, this can be the most tedious part of painting, but after that, it's just a smooth ride. All it really takes is just time and patience. Because a rushed paint job is not a good paint job. That's a lot of purple. Where's another 150? All right. Seems good enough. And after that, you'd have to, just gonna put this in a better area. There we go. Just gonna leave that there for now. Don't want to do that. There we go. These actually kind of peel off super easily. Yep, looks gone to me. Oh, there's another warning label over here that I haven't noticed. most of it. There we go. Oh, yeah. So yeah, just make sure you have all logos off. Digicamo, pattern, all that fun stuff. Here's another shell. It's this is another Rebel. I don't even know how I got these Rebel ones, but they got pretty nice smooth shells, so I like to paint these ones because I've seen some really nice paint jobs with these things. You obviously don't have to try and paint off all this, but I'm just going to be better safe than sorry because I don't want it to stick out. Plus, sanding is almost a necessity anyways if you want your paint to stick longer. I mean, eventually it's going to wear and tear off over use over time, so... But the longer, the better. There still has some grit left on it. Any logos or anything? Nope, not on this side. It's odd. It's probably all on the other. There we go. Smoothed out. Oh! Let me try to sand down the handle area where the priming handle is, or else it'll stick off faster. And also, after I sand off all my stuff, I run it through like a shower head or for water, just so I make sure that I get off all the oils from the inside, from the lubricant, all the residue, all that fun stuff, just to make sure that it doesn't mess with the paint or anything. Typically you should do that first and then after, but oh well. go. Looks good to me. Yep. Logo's on this side now. You can also always just use a Dremel for this, but I only tend to use a Dremel, especially a small bit or a wheel, just to, oh, there it is. Small wheel like this, just to try to cut through like small surfaces like right there or in there, but other than that, I don't use them because I don't use them for like body work. I'm just used to the old-fashioned way, I guess. I don't know. That seems good. Again, I still have to do this entire portion up here, but I just don't want to do that on screen because that's just using a lot of time, and I don't want to make this video the longest video ever. There's this Rebel logo embroidered right there. So let's see if I can... This one will probably take a couple seconds. Yep, and just like that, ceases to exist. I really wish I remember what the name of this one was. All I know is that it's a Rebel secret agent whatever gimmick. It's a strong arm though, it's just a smoothed out strong arm. Yeah, that's the thing about Hasbro. Like, they always take something that they've done before and they just kind of reshell it into something different. Like the whole "it's a jolt" reskin joke, which I don't know, I find that stuff annoying at this point, but oh well. Like any flywheel blasters, all those are always like a Strife or a Rapid Strike reskin, just with like either different internals or different, but just the core principle is that they're taking older stuff and they're just putting it in a new shell because affordability, I guess. I don't know. Alright, looks good. So that's going to go there. Ah, here are the logos on the priming grip. How am I going to hold on to this? There we go. Again, just back and forth, just pushing into it. Eventually, elbow grease will just do the job for you. And just so everyone knows, yes, all 3 of these blasters are going to be for the NPC pile for Wildlands. Just gonna... I'm not making these for me or anything. This is entirely for the NPC pile. So I can get this tutorial out and get more blasters finished for the game on time. Looks smooth enough, I guess. Trying to make sure I at least get some sanding on every crack and crevice. Alright, what's next? Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. This side is entirely smooth. Alright, here we go. One last one. Sometimes, if you grab an off-brand, you'll notice that you have stickers. Like Dart Zone typically does this stuff. Buzzbee, I think, also does the same. So if I have a... There we go. As you can tell, it just went right off. You get the premise, just... hot water will get most of it off, then just go right over it with any type of grit paper, really, and it will eventually go away. Now, what I wanted to show this one on screen for is that sometimes some blasters have this type of logo, but it's divoted inwards, so that no matter how much sanding you do, it will show up, because, well, it's underneath that shell, really. So the only way to get above this is, I think I did the same method for this one as I did for my other Blitzfire. I took and it fell, as I suspected it would. Wonderful, because I knew that was going to happen. Sorry about that. There. Hopefully that does not happen again. If I can find any of it, that is. Well, I can't seem to find it right now, or else I'll take like 5 minutes looking for it, but I use EP200 epoxy putty, and I just mold it together, put some of it on top of the shell, and then take 60 grit, and I do mean 60 grit, and just sand it to no end until it's over the logo, and that's it. And then I just wash all of it down. And then, yeah, that's how you typically sand blasters down. Next video, I'm going to try to sand all these down by tomorrow, so I can come back again around this time to show you the fun part of doing this spray painting. So hopefully this has helped you guys out. So again, sorry about that little mess up. I'm using a tablet holder for my phone, and it's not working out, but I can't find the phone holder, so hopefully I find that too. But I'll try to get the next video out by tomorrow. So until then, see you guys later.